Good day, learners. Welcome to this channel. My name is Paul and you know me as the EMS guy. Today I want to start with a joke. What do you call a factory that delivers good quality products? Answer: a satisfactory. Alright, so in today's lesson we're gonna continue with forms of ownership. In our previous 3 videos we did the introduction to what is forms of ownership. We did all of the terminology. We did sole traders, partnerships, and today we start with close corporations, and we're going to follow in the other videos with public and private companies. So make sure you tune in, hit like, subscribe, share, and then we'll dig into it. EMS students, we're digging in today and we're starting with the topic on close corporation as we're busy with forms of ownership. So I want you to make sure you know the terminology. I'm not going to repeat it for sake of time in this video. We have done the sole proprietorship, we have done partnerships, and now we're starting with the more formal business types or forms of ownership, the close corporation. Just to recap, you must know what's capital, the legal liability, limited liability, unlimited liability, what's a legal entity, and continuity, because these are the factors that will influence your decision on what type of business ownership you're gonna choose. These will have a massive influence. Alright, so a close corporation, as you can see, is your more formal type of business. This is the first business that you have to go and formally register, although you cannot do it anymore. Since the Companies Act changed, there's no way that you can start a close corporation. If it's already in existence, you can continue with it. But there's no way to start a new one. But we still need to understand how they work, how they function in order to understand the economy. And if you are working in a CC, it's important to know the functioning of it. One thing that I want to put attention onto is the word close. It's not closed corporation, it's a close corporation. Close meaning the owners have got a personal interest in the company. It's almost like a sole trader or a partnership, but here it's a formal business, but it's still small enough where the owners are personally invested into the company. They actually want to get feedback from the customers, so that's why it's called a close corporation. Alright, let's look at some of the characteristics. A close corporation have between 1 and 10 members. Now we call the owners in this situation not owners or partners, but members. Alright, and I gave you a picture there of members of parliament so that you can remember it. Alright, members can combine their capital, labor, and divide the profits between themselves. Remember, in earlier in grade 8 we did the factors of production, so this is important. Members now have to take their factors of production and combine it. This can be either their capital, labor, use what natural resources they have to their availability, and then what is the end result. They get the profit, so they need to share that. We also already said that you cannot start a new CC, you can only continue to exist. So why do you want to start a CC instead of a sole trader or a partnership? Now the reason is simple. When registering a company, there's a lot of added benefits that you can get. But first, let's look at a few other characteristics. So we said the owners are called members. We know that there's 1 to 10 members. Here's the first advantage, but it's also characteristics. In a CC there is unlimited continuity. That means your business can continue to exist, and this is based on one fact, that there is a legal entity. The business is a formal legal entity, which means the business is seen as a separate legal person in the eyes of the law, and this legal entity, this person, can take out contracts, go into negotiations, and be sued or sue other legal persons like you and me. So this business now takes responsibility for itself. So why do you want to start a CC? This business takes ownership of itself. You as an owner, as a member, are not personally liable. This is where it says we have limited liability. You're not personally liable for the debts of the company. Firstly, or for the corporation takes responsibility for its own debt. So when it's liquidated, the creditors will come and ask for all the assets of the corporation. They won't come to your house to fetch your car or your house or your assets. That's a massive benefit. Members can provide capital, and because there's more than one, they get more capital than a sole trader. They need to register, and the way they register is by doing a founder's statement, and they need that to submit it at the Registrar of Closed Corporations. Take note of Registrar of Closed Corporations. Next videos we're going to do Registrar of Companies, because we're working with companies. When we work with a closed corporation, when you registered, it had to be at the Registrar of Corporations. Alright, then because you have a legal entity, this makes the business now a formal business, and that puts you in a new category to pay tax. There's no more personal income tax. Now you have to pay a business tax. Business is a own legal person. Because it's a business, it pays business tax, and that is fixed at 28%. So you won't start a CC before you reach a turnover that is higher in the tax brackets when you pay your personal income tax, when it's higher than when it's less than 28%. If it's between 18 and 28, you will want to still pay less tax. But the moment it breaches that gap, it's beneficial for you to start thinking about making it formal. Alright, and another characteristic is the name must end with the letter CC. That's how you identify it's a closed corporation, with the letters CC at the back. So advantages, in summary: you can get more funds, more capital. Members now share in the decision-making process, which means there's more creativity, there's more input, more experts sit together so you get better decisions. It's easy and cheap to register when you could register it. It's no longer available. Founding statement can be changed, there's no restrictions to it. It's unlimited continuity, which means the owners or the members can sell out their shares in the business, although they don't really have shares in that sense. But the business will continue to exist without them because it's a separate person. Limited liability means they don't have to pay with their personal assets if there's liquidation, and they're not required to have an annual general meeting. The advantages: there's limited capital because it's only limited to what the members can bring forward, and that's 1 to 10 members. Slow decision-making process. There can be a lot of conflict because now when there's people, they need to make decisions. It leads to conflict. Members can be held personally responsible only if they have been careless or negligent, or if they are more than 10 people for 6 months or more. Then their liability clause can fall away. And the banks may require the books of a CC to be audited if you apply for a loan, which can be to your not disadvantage, but it's costly and it takes time. So this is a closed corporation. You need to make sure you understand the intricacies, and I know in 5 minutes this is short, but review this video, rewatch it, make sure you understand it, and then you'll grow. See you in the next video.